And a big good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to Gantry TV, here for RTA Virtual Motorsports. It's another Tuesday night, and we have the Motorsport.ie Formula V Championship returning once again. And it's another British circuit that sees us on our small UK tour. It is the Oulton Park circuit, and we're here on the Foster's variation. Not quite the full international circuit, but still should be a tricky enough track for our drivers to tackle here this evening. My name's Evan Dalton. It's a pleasure to be alongside you tonight. No Kieran McGinley or Kevin. They are off doing Kieran and Kevin things. So it is just myself and Ronan Hederman in the booth. Ronan will be chiming in once or twice, once again, to give your ears a quick break. But we should have an exciting evening here tonight. We have qualifying coming up, of course. Then we have the three heats. If you're unfamiliar with the RTA format and it is your first time watching, we have the 10-minute grid set by qualifying, 15-minute grid set by race 1, and then we have the 20-minute reverse top 8 from race 2. And we'll have a couple of quick interviews in between race 2 and race 3 as well. But last week, what an exciting week it was at Brands Hatch. We had two different heat winners, almost had three. One of the closest finishes ever in RTA between Jordan Kelly and Sean McClemens in Heat 3. A mere fingernail separating the two of them, but neither of the two at the top of the championship. And it is actually young Dylan McClemens who comes into tonight as the championship leader. He was very consistent last week in Brands Hatch and showed a new level of maturity. Ronan Doherty then in second. So there's Dylan on 214, Ronan on 191. Then another man who has shown consistency in third place, that's Thor Thullow on 168. Sean McClemens on 160, just 8 back. Tony Stackton on 156, and that's a very high position in the championship for Tony. He'll be delighted with how things are going so far. Rory O'Shea and Conor Melia tied on 141. Remember, Rory not present in Brands Hatch, so he does have his drop round already selected, as does the man who's only a point behind them, Jordan Kelly. Didn't race round 1 in Snetterton, so he also does not have a drop round this season. Dave Collier then is in 9th with Andrew Murphy down in 10th position. So only 112 points separating the top 10 in the standings, which is not an awful lot in RTA, given that it is 90 for a race win. We've had some fabulous performances from Ronan Doherty, from Jordan Kelly throughout the season to be picking up, it's 90 points if you win all 3 races in an evening. It's only 30 points for a race win. If we're handing out 90 points for a race win, I think the maths will get a little bit tricky come the end of the season. But nonetheless, it is a beautiful evening here in Oulton Park, and we are ready to go racing. You get a really great view of the circuit, and you can just see the cars heading out for one final practice lap here on the Foster's circuit. There is 3 cars out on circuit. Best of luck to anyone who could have made them out from the drone camera. In all honesty, we might have had to get you as some form of spotter if you were able to do that. In case the sarcasm wasn't quite evident, it is quite foggy here this evening. That might make it difficult for some drivers. That is a horrible time to spin, really. Your first showing on the stream and your round here in practice. Not the greatest start to the evening. But nonetheless, qualifying should be interesting. We've had a couple of weird qualifyings this season. A couple of very peculiar moments, different incidents happening throughout the session, and some drivers being hampered because of these incidents. And you can see a lot of drivers already are having some problems here in practice. We're only watching on-track action for about a minute, and we've already seen 2 cars go around. So only being a small circuit, certainly not easy. It is just over 1.6 miles, 2.656 kilometers in new money, 11 corners. The lap record here is 50 seconds, but we are about 20 seconds slower than that in the 110s. The circuit here in Oulton Park, of course, located in a small village called Little Budworth. It is in Cheshire, and I believe there's a famous zoo. Or is that Chester? That could be Chester Zoo. Nonetheless, yeah, I'm just getting it in my ear that it is Chester. Hold on, I didn't read the next line of my notes. It's 13 miles from Chester City Centre, so that's why you read ahead, folks. And as a nearby rail connection, seemingly. That's one of your pointless facts for this evening. But the circuit here, it does accompany the former Oulton estate, which was one of these big grand estates in England that you see all over the place. But qualifying is just getting underway for tonight's action around this Foster's circuit. So if you're unfamiliar with the Foster's circuit, but you do know Oulton Park inside out, basically we're not doing the Shell Oils corner, we're not doing Hislops, we're doing pretty much everything else. We are not doing we are doing Knickerbocker, but it's a very different corner. You'll see it when we run on board with one of the cars later on in the session. But Slipstream, once again, going to be a big talking point tonight because we've got long straights, not an awful lot of corners. It is a very Formula V-esque track, and the drivers are going to have to cater their cars and cater their qualifying session to that. So, just out for the first laps now in qualifying. If you are just joining us, we would kindly ask you to support the stream here, of course, on Gantry TV. We greatly appreciate all your supporters. No, we are doing the Shell Oils Corner. I've completely lied to you, folks, so apologies about that. We're not doing the Britain's chicane, or are we? Well, these guys aren't doing the Britain chicanes, but this is. Yeah, unless this is just a new tactic in qualifying and they just aren't bothered to do the chicanes. But there is a strip of orange cones there. In all honesty, I thought the Foster circuit cut out the Shell Oils corner and did the earlier chicane, but it mightn't. We are going to find that out, I suppose, as we go along, and this will be a bit of a learning curve for us all. Yeah, I'm looking up the Foster's layout, and it doesn't even go near the chicane. So we are technically on the wrong layout. But nonetheless, we carry on fourth, and we'll see what sort of lap times these drivers can put in on whatever interpretation they have of Oulton Park. So this is down towards the first corner. This bit we know. This is the Old Hall corner, it's known as. And we are riding on board with the number 99 of Jordan Kelly heading round here. He is slipstreaming Ronan Doherty in front, I believe. So this is down towards turn number 2. This is Denton's. And then usually the Foster's layout just heads through that little slip road there to the right. And you can see, oh yeah, we are. They've all just done an extended outlap for some reason. Why did they do that? That confused us very much so. But yes, this is the Foster's layout. We are on the correct layout. As you can see, we flicked through the right-hander and up towards the Knickerbocker corner, down through Clay Hill. That was so weird. I really couldn't tell you what they were doing there, but that threw myself and Ronan Hederman way off. This is then the right-hander of Druid's corner. We will do a proper lap guide where we actually know where we're going. And then in towards the final corner. You can see Robbie Callahan pulling out a line there, but it's not ideal qualifying scenarios, this, because you usually want clean air, you usually want a clear track in front of you, where Jordan Kelly can only drive as quick as Ronan Doherty is driving in this current situation, but he does get a brilliant slipstream. Across the line comes Kelly, across the line goes Doherty, and you can see Jordan Kelly is quickest of the bunch for now. Ronan Doherty in second, Dylan McClements in third, Logan Hoy is in fourth, and it's Conor Melia, Thor Hullo, and the Farrell is here this evening. He has gone to 7th position. And then we're down in towards the first sector again. In all honesty, I got my Foster's track map wrong as well, folks. So you are right to be confused. But the driver's doing an extended outlap. We are going to have to actually ask someone about that in the post-race interview. Then through the right-hander and up the hill. Big talking point coming into tonight is always the racing, but sometimes there is some things a little bit bigger than racing. And you can see on your screen now, just heading up for the Clay Hill corner, this is Jamal Gandor in the 961, a name you've definitely heard if you are a frequent viewer of RTA. If you watched last week, you would have heard we had a little bit of bad news about Jamal, and Jamal unfortunately suffered some health issues and was looking like he was going to be out for the foreseeable. Jamal is a warrior that even the Romans are jealous of, because he's here tonight and I believe is racing with one arm and one leg, and he's going to keep pushing and try to get a result here in the Motorsport.ie Formula V Championship. Not only is Jamal suffering from health issues, you will definitely have heard us reference him as the Lebanese driver, currently residing in Lebanon, is Jamal, and of course we are all aware of the current situation there. So Jamal is an absolute trooper and a man who is levels above anything we ever imagined here in RTA. A huge shout out to Jamal. We very much look forward to seeing him out on track tonight in the races, and just a huge, I suppose, well done for what he's been through so far, and we wish him the best of luck in the future. And it is great to see him back. There was a bit of a buzz today about the Discord server when everyone heard that Jamal was racing. So, and in all honesty, he's only actually a tenth of a second off the pace, which I kind of heard Jamal was racing tonight and only be a little bit off the pace, but he isn't, which goes to show what a man he actually is. And Jamal and family, we send you our best wishes. But back on the qualifying for tonight, it is still Jordan Kelly who, and that's the most Jamal thing ever to happen, isn't it? That's the most Jamal thing ever. He's crowned off that little segment perfectly with a spin into the final corner. Jamal's back, folks. Jordan Kelly is quickest in qualifying. Then it is Ronan Doherty, Dylan McClemens, Conor Melia, Peter McCann then in fifth. Logan Hoy is down in sixth. Alan McNamara in seventh. Tort Hullo is in eighth position. Sean McClemens down in ninth. That's not where Sean wants to be. He'll be looking to improve upon that time. Was quickest coming into the final moments of practice. I'm not sure if he ended the session quickest, but he was quickest with about 10 minutes to go. So things were looking promising for Sean. And then it is newcomer Kyle Irvine, who is down in 11th spot. Kyle, one of the debutants for this season, and alongside Logan Hoy and TJ Taff, I believe he is a ICC or Junior Mini Challenge racer. So great to have Kyle along with us. He will be the last man joining this season because he got in just before the deadline. So it's good to have Kyle with us. And I tell you what, that's an absolute cracking livery from Kyle as well. So he's impressed me as he's joined the grid. But he is down just behind Sean McClemens in 12th position. And rounding through the right-hander of Druids Corner. Now we have about 8 minutes to go here in qualifying. And it is Paolo Tempera, who you can see on your screen now, one of the other debutants this season. Not an ICC or Junior Mini Challenge driver because he is from Portugal. And that is Paolo Tempera, who you are seeing currently in 8th place. Had a great week last week, did Paolo actually. Got driver of the day from us on the stream and picked up some great results. So fair play to Paolo. He's bedded in nicely here in the Motorsport.ie Formula V Championship, and we'll see what he can do throughout the evening. But still Kelly on top for the time being. Ronan Doherty then in second. Dylan McClemens in third. Conor Melia in fourth. Tort Hullo in fifth. And then it is Andrew Murphy who's in sixth. Andrew's been qualifying well this season. Just needs to pick up some strong results, does Andrew. He's kind of been caught up in a few separate incidents this season, specifically one with Conor Melia in Snetterton, and that was, I suppose, I wouldn't say a momentum killer, but it was certainly hampered his chances of picking up a good result in Snetterton, and that sort of backed up into Silverstone. But Andrew qualifying well so far here in Oulton Park. And this is Conor Melia, who you are looking at, and Conor Melia was or became a race winner last week in sort of our only dominant performance of the season. That was Heat 2 in Brands Hatch around the Indy circuit, and he was able to pick up the race win and dominated over Sean McGoldrick and Dylan McClemens, and Sean McClemens then in fourth place as well. Apologies if you're getting a little bit of lag through my mic, folks. It is the internet on my end, so hopefully that fixes itself as I've moved a little bit closer to the router. It seems to be cutting in a little bit. Seems okay, I'm hearing from Ronan, so we should be fine. But just warning you in case. But yes, this is Sean McGoldrick, who we are looking at as well. No race win for Sean this season, but that's never really a target of his. He always aims for the top 5, and he was able to get one top 5 last week, and that was in second place. That was second place in heat number 2. So great result there for Sean McGoldrick. It was actually his only podium of the season. So we're looking to continue on that strong form here tonight at Oulton Park. Tort Hullo as well, third in the championship as we previously discussed. He is in amongst the pack right now here in qualifying, but he is in amongst the front runners week in, week out here in this Formula V car. The air-cooled 4-cylinder Volkswagen engined Formula V car. iRacing claims that it has about 70 brake horsepower. That differs a little bit, I think, or certainly Ronan Doherty and Jordan Kelly tell us that it differs a little bit, and they would have a lot more experience driving Formula V cars than whatever forum I got that statistic off. So I'd go by them, but it is in and about that range, and that is what these drivers will be facing with this evening. Jordan Kelly, as you can see, we are on board with him now. 5 minutes to go in qualifying. He is still quickest, and I still think it's his early lap that actually is top of the order. And yeah, it is. No, he has gone quicker. It's the 110.2. Ronan Doherty 110.3. So very close between the pair. Dylan McClemens actually has just gone purple in that first sector. We'll see if he can jump up the top of the order. No, remains in third. So just lost a little bit of time in sector 2 and sector 3. It's not a long lap here at Oulton Park, of course. It is fairly short, so you got to make it count here. And I think the races will be a lot more important than qualifying, because one thing we have seen throughout the course of this season is qualifying is not necessarily the be-all and end-all as we ride on board with Paolo Tempera, who has a little bit of a wobble heading through Lodge Corner and in towards Deer Leap, the final corner here in Oulton Park. And down towards the first corner comes Paolo Tempera. This is the Old Hall corner, only 4 gears, of course. In this Formula V car, certainly 4 that you use. I'm not sure if that dash is right or not, because it just said he's taking that corner 4th gear, which is probably feasible. There's someone a little bit more knowledgeable than me, but that seemed impressive from Tempera. Then it's in towards what is usually Cascades. Still called Cascades here, but definitely a different corner. It is a right-hander instead of a left-hander. On towards Hilltop, and, up towards the Knickerbocker corner. Go back and watch the Formula Ford 1600 stream with myself and Kevin Galvin if you'd like a little bit of a history lesson about that Knickerbocker corner. Shockingly, not the worst thing he's ever said in a Gantry TV stream, but it was definitely an interesting story nonetheless, and definitely one that you should go back and watch. Then it's in towards the Druids corner, traditionally turn number 15. It's about turn number 5 or 6, I think, here at the Foster's layout. Down under the Warwick Bridge and in towards the Lodge corner. Late braking for Tempera. This is the corner he had the moment in, as Jordan Kelly, I think, has just gone quick. Oh no, he's into the pit lane at the top of the order. 3rd gear there for Tempera. Blasted towards the start-finish line, and in all honesty, didn't seem a bad lap from Paolo. We'll see if there's an improvement once he crosses the checker. And no improvement for Paolo, but definitely very close to what he was setting. Here's Ronan Doherty, definitely in championship contention this season, although has been saying that he is a little bit sick of driving Formula Vs lately, which understandable, I suppose. He races them in real life, or has been racing them in real life, and is racing them here. So understandable that he's a little bit sick and wants to go to prototype racing next season. Was trying to convince Peter McCann to make that decision. Not sure Peter has much leeway when it comes to selecting the cars, but Ronan certainly seems to think he does. Purple sector 3 for Ronan Doherty. Is he sick of driving them overall? He isn't, because he's gone quicker, but not quicker than Jordan Kelly. Very close indeed, unbelievably close in fact. Only 0.09 between Kelly and Doherty. Dylan McClemens has improved to 3rd, and he is in this train as well. You can't get much of a view of this train due to the visibility, but this is Dylan McClemens and Ronan Doherty that are in it. Dylan is in the red. You can see there. Sean will be in a matching livery with a different colour, and then Ronan Doherty not sporting a Team DDR scheme this season, technically, but he is running his actual Formula V scheme, which I think has Team DDR stickers all over it, or certainly when I looked at it in Mondello Park, it did. Also an RTA sticker over it as well, which I thought was very important for a Leinster Trophy winning car. Andrew Murphy tracking well in qualifying as well. He's in 5th. We're into the final minute of it, so if you haven't started your lap just yet, you will not get another one in. Sean McClemens will be looking to improve down in 8th as well. But here's Ronan Doherty for the final corner. Up towards the start-finish line. Is it going to be a miraculous pole lap for Doherty? Improved in the first sector. He only needs a marginal improvement. Didn't improve in the final sector, but overall, is it good enough? It isn't. It'll be 2nd for Doherty. He's not able to take pole position. Did take pole in Snetterton, or Brands Hatch last week, I should say. Took pole in Snetterton as well, so it would have been his 3rd pole of the season. Kelly's looking to even the qualifying battle between the two at 2-all. Logan Hoy, as you can see now, is heading down towards the first sector, and Logan Hoy will not be able to complete this lap. He won't get around in time. So top 3 all in the pits as the clock strikes 15. It is going to be Jordan Kelly, who is on pole position here, and it'll be Ronan Doherty, who's alongside him on the front row. Dylan McClemens then in 3rd, with Thor Tullow, who qualifies in 4th. Andrew Murphy then in 5th position. Conor Melly is 6th, and it's Logan Hoy, Sean McClemens, Rory O'Shea. Then there'll be Sean McGoldrick, Paolo Timpera, Peter McCann, Adam McNamara, I should say, Tony Stack, Enda Farrell, Mark Ivory. Then it's Dave Collier, David Prunty, Jamal Gandor, Philip Upson, Robbie Callahan, Jared Thornton, Grace McCallion, and Rich Murphy. Some shocks actually there in qualifying. I know I was saying before we got started in qualifying that we've had a couple of weird sessions with incidents. No incidents in that one, but a couple of shock results. Sean McClemens down in 8th. He started on the front row twice this season. Robbie Callahan as well. Very disappointing qualifying for Robbie. Way down the order in 22nd. He had his best result of the season last week in Brands Hatch. He picked up P5 in the first heat. Had a bit of an incident impacted race from that point onwards, but was great there for Robbie. Jamal Gandor 20th, by the way. Very impressive there. Robbie hasn't actually set a time, so that's why he's not up the order. Neither has Jared Thornton, Grace McCallion, or Rich Murphy. Phil Upson says he's coming into this one with no practice, so we gotta give Phil a bit of an excuse if he is down the order. He has given us a valid reason for why he hasn't got many practice laps in, but practice will matter not in a couple of seconds, and it is all about what you can do here out on circuit. The ducking and dicing at this Oulton Park circuit. Fun fact, lap record holder here on the island circuit is an Irishman, and it is Alex Dunn who has the lap record in a Formula 4 car. We won't be quite getting the lap record here in the Formula V, but they'll try go close to it here on the Foster's layout. And in the fog, we are just waiting to see the start lights pop up and to get ready to go. Going to be very interesting this down towards, I suppose, Cascades, really. First corner never usually much of an impact here at Oulton Park because it's a very short run to it. But it's definitely overtaking zones here are in the second sector. And as the 5 lights come on for the first time this evening, we go racing here in Oulton Park, and Mark Ivory is has quickly bowed out of it, I should say. Tortullo gets a great launch. He's up and ahead of Dylan McClements very early on here. Down to 5th now is Dylan McClements, so a horror start for him, trying to hook it around the outside of Conor Melia. Does get back in front of Melia, so that is McClements staying in 4th. Logan Hoy side by side there with Sean McClements and Rory O'Shea down in, that is the battle for 7th, 8th and 9th. So Hoy getting a good start, side by side, just a little bit behind him. Paolo Timpera, there you go, Sean McGoldrick. Sean McGoldrick once again hitting trouble in the early stages of the race. He's ran wide heading through turn number 4. Very disappointing for Sean McGoldrick. Here's Doherty, first launch of an attack. Up the hill, down towards the Water Tower corner and the Druids corner. Ronan Doherty is ahead and into the race lead. And Jordan Kelly is now down to 2nd position. And that is very disappointing there for him. Tortullo down to 3rd. Dylan McClemens in 4th. Conor Melia in 5th. Andrew Murphy in 6th. Logan Hoy 7th. Sean McClemens stays in 8th. O'Shea 9th. Peter McCann 10th. Big lunch Dylan McClemens looking to avenge one he lost on the start of the race and overtake Tortullo down towards the first corner. And that's a great overtake from Dylan McClemens. But will he be able to hold off? And there is Sean McClemens. That's the older brother of the two who's gone round. And Sean McClemens' troubled start to the race gets even worse, and he won't be able to recover this one, really, in the 10 minutes that we've got. Doherty, despite starting 2nd, has set the fastest lap of the race. Not something you see necessarily every day. Dylan McClemens, though, there in 3rd, heading in towards the right-hander now. Good race start from Logan Hoy. He's kept himself out of trouble, which is something maybe he's struggled with a tad this season, but a good start from him, a good consistent race, I think is what Logan needs to just bed himself nicely into the season here in the Motorsport.ie Formula V Championship. It is only round 4 tonight, so we still have plenty of rounds to go after this one for drivers to pick up some good points. Here comes Doherty, back down the inside, same corner, similar attack. Dylan McClemens involved in this one as well, though. And we are on board with Dylan McClemens now, who might be looking to go down the inside of Jordan Kelly. Tucked nicely into the slipstream of Ronan Doherty in towards the final hairpin. Final big braking zone on this Oulton Park circuit. Kelly's able to carry a lot of momentum, runs very, very wide out of the final corner. Picks up a little bit of grass, loses a bit of momentum. Tortullo might look to get involved in this one as well, down in 4th. You can see it is a bit of a stretch back then to the 6th place man of Rory O'Shea, but Conor Melia side by side with Tortullo. Dylan McClemens side by side with Jordan Kelly. And the 1st place man, Doherty, is clear and away a little bit. That mistake from Jordan Kelly has given him a little bit of breathing room. In towards the right-hander then once again. Conor Melia still just looking to track and keep up with Tortullo, but he's run a little bit wide. And that is a mistake that he might have to pay for, because he's not going to be granted an overtake move down towards the right-hander with the Druids corner. Just like Ronan Doherty's been able to pull off on Jordan Kelly on the last few laps. That is a good move for Peter McCann, actually, who is up to 6th position. And a decent move there for Peter, who was able to get the job done. Apologies if you hear the noise, by the way, folks. I completely kicked out my microphone cable, so if something cut out there, I can only apologise. Jordan Kelly into the race lead, though. Ronan Doherty in second. Dylan McClements in third. Fastest lap of the race there for Kelly, so maybe track conditions improving, or maybe just Kelly improving. Maybe he's getting into the groove a little bit here at this Oulton Park circuit. There is McCann, who he sets the fastest lap of the race, actually. And no insult to Peter, but not something you see every day, especially when the front runners are running as consistent as they are. There is a pull out of line for Doherty. One half of that is a move on Kelly. The other is a defensive manoeuvre. Dylan McClements right behind, because Dylan definitely still in contention. The championship leader now, of course, is young Dylan McClements. Had a fabulous season had a fabulous last few seasons, I should say, picking up 3 wins, 2 wins, 3 wins. But he'd like to just go that little step further and be a real championship contender. And he is doing so far this season. Another great move for Ronan Doherty down the inside. Jordan Kelly has fallen to second and could be under pressure from Dylan McClements right behind, or is he? No, he's got a great run out of the right-hander, and he is still up and ahead. And a bit of a wobble under the braking for Jordan Kelly. Does very well to hold on to it. Very skillful for Jordan, and he is able to keep his car pointing the right direction, but has lost a handful of places for his troubles. Might even lose that little bit more. Tortullo just lurking on the back, just like a shark in the waters, waiting to bite, and Jordan might be that innocent fisherman if he is not careful. Conor Melia as well, almost waiting for something to happen in front, waiting for some form of incident to grant him a position and allow him to make a manoeuvre. But not too long to go in this one. We are over the halfway mark. Only a 10-minute heat number 1. A little bit further back this fight, but this is between Rory O'Shea, Peter McCann and Paolo Tempera. That is Paolo Tempera you are seeing with the yellow stripe down the front of the car and white either side of it. But we don't look at that battle for long, because the top 3 are going at it once again. They seem to quite like this corner, but it's going to be Dylan McClements, the man, poaching the attack now. Down the inside of Ronan Doherty. Gets the job done. He's learned well from his cousin, and Dylan is up ahead. But for how long? Doherty, great exit off of that corner, and this seems to be the way this race is running. You can run side by side and both get decent exits out of there. Jordan Kelly almost looking for the inside, just didn't have the momentum, just ran out of asphalt on the inside line, but has pulled off a neat up and under to get the job done on Dylan McClements, and he is in theoretical second place here, but will Dylan be able to hang it around the outside of the Old Hall corner? Very difficult to do so, but Dylan McClements does it nicely. Great move for Dylan. He's up and ahead of Jordan Kelly for the time being. Tortullo still in 4th here. Tortullo might be looking to make that 3rd though, and Thor, the man 3rd in the championship, would like 3rd on the track. Conor Melia wants to try change that narrative, but not able to get down the inside. Oh, a bit of a bounce over the curb for Tortullo. Puts him under real pressure from the 56 behind of Conor Melia, running a similar to the famous Williams Martini livery, the same one that is on his actual Formula V car. So it's great to see both himself and Ronan doing that one indeed. This is the battle. A little bit further back. This is the same one we were looking at with Rory O'Shea and Paolo Tempera. Big move down the inside. Paolo Tempera, the Portugueseman, is well within RTA limits here. He knows what he has to do to succeed in Ireland's Premier Sim Racing Series. Big moves in any corner you can, and almost goes for the double in towards the hairpin. That would have been maybe a step too far. Some RTA races probably right on the limit, but maybe a step too far for this Formula V Championship. Jordan Kelly down the inside of Dylan McClements once again. I tell you what, it's swapping and it's changing here on the Oulton Park Foster's circuit. Not a lot fond of this Foster's layout, but it is providing great action for us here tonight. And the top 3, it could go any way. Could go Tortullo's way, could go Conor Melia's. So we can't rule out anyone. Just for now, couldn't rule out a soul in this fight either, because Rory O'Shea is just about ahead of Peter McCann and Paolo Tempera. Then it's Logan Hoy and Tony Stack. So a 5-way fight. This is for 6th place. 5-way fight for the race lead, and Kelly is going to become the leader of this five-way fight in towards the Druids corner once again. And Ronan Doherty not able to flick it around the outside this time, but he is going to go for the up and under and go for the exit. And it's a really weird corner, this one. It seems like whatever line you take is the correct one, because Doherty has been keeping it planted on the inside, outside, and Kelly would get the job done and Doherty would get the job done. No matter what they do, they're just both so dead even. It's unbelievable how close they all are, pace-wise, around this circuit. As they come out of the fog over the hill, Melia has got ahead of Tortullo. So Tortullo down to 5th place, and still Doherty and Kelly side by side out of the first corner. How do they do it week in, week out? These two just love putting on a show here in RTA Virtual Motorsport, and Dylan McClemens likes to spoil that show from time and time again. He's going to look to try and do it. We've got about a minute and 10 left on the clock to be exact. Still side by side, exiting Hislops and up towards the Knickerbocker corner. You can see looking back from Dylan McClemens, Connor Melia looking to make a move as well. They're still side by side, heading down towards the water tower and in towards Druids corner. If they're side by side on exit here, that might be a pure test of bravery. We've almost been side by side for a full lap here. Kelly's still going to try and fish around the outside, and they're still side by side. How can you separate them? It's like two ends of the same coin. They're so close on pace that we literally cannot see who's in front anymore. Down towards the hairpin, is someone going to be bravest on the brakes? It'll be Ronan Doherty who gives Kelly a real shove. Dylan McClemens is able to get on the inside line, but we know Kelly can hang it around the outside quite well indeed, and he will still stay in front of Dylan McClemens down towards the first corner for the final time. We're on the final lap of the race here in Oulton Park for heat number 1. Thankfully, we've plenty more racing action coming up tonight. Ronan Doherty still in front. Jordan Kelly on the outside line. Dylan McClemens just tucked in behind Ronan Doherty, the blue car, in the race lead. And Melia and Tullo just still biding their time behind. Still praying something goes wrong. But how can something go wrong when the two in front are just inch perfect time and time again? Still Ronan Doherty, who is ahead of Jordan Kelly. Kelly will fancy his chances in towards the Druids corner. A little bit of tyre smoke. McClemens has to evade. That puts him out of the slipstream, and he might suffer because of that in towards the right-hander, but he is still gaining on Ronan Doherty in front, and Dylan McClemens has not won a race this season. This would be his first if he could do it, but it's a long stretch from now. Ronan Doherty still in front. Jordan Kelly round the outside of Dylan McClemens. Doherty 2-3 car lengths in front now. Might just be okay and might be able to take his 4th race win of the season in towards the right-hander, but let's not rule it out just yet. Big lunge on the brakes for Dylan McClemens. Kelly goes for the up and under. These two have had multiple drag races to the line already this season. Here comes another. Who's going to get it? Dylan McClemens will get it. Great defensive manoeuvre into the final corner. It'll be Jordan in 3rd, but crucially, Ronan Doherty with a 5th race win of the season, not 4th, apologies. He takes his first here in Oulton Park tonight. Really impressive stuff for Ronan Doherty. Just got the gap at the right time on the last lap and didn't have to defend in towards the Lodge corner. A little bit further back, Connor Melia 4th, Tortullo 5th. And then, is that Robbie Callahan who I've just seen coming home in 6th? That's an unbelievable drive from Robbie. Unless my timing screen is playing trick, which I don't think it is. He's up 16 positions in 10 minutes. Wow, unbelievable. And that is really impressive for Robbie Callahan. Finally, the 3 people in the chat each week spamming his name have something to celebrate. Logan Hoy then in 7th, Adam McNamara in 8th as well. Great race from Logan and Adam, have to hand it to him. Kyle Irvine in 9th on debut. So it seems like if you are racing some form of category in ICC, or you have a good debut here in RTA Virtual Motorsport. We'll run you through the full results in a second when they come up on the screen, folks. But a mighty impressive race here in Oulton Park. Ronan Doherty, who takes the race win ahead of Dylan McClemens and Jordan Kelly. Then it was Connor Melia, Tortullo, Robbie Callahan, Logan Hoy, Adam McNamara, then Kyle Irvine, Sean McClemens, then Peter McCann in 11th, Rory O'Shea in 12th, Paolo Tampera 13th, then it was Jamal Gandor in 14th, Mark Ivory 15th, Philip Upson in 16th, Rich Murphy, Andrew Murphy, Dave Prunty, Tony Stack unfortunately fallen down the order, and Sean McGoldrick, Dave Collier, Jared Thornton, Enda Farrell, and Grace McCallion, who rounds us out. Heat 2 coming up now, folks, and there is no rest for the wicked. because the lights are coming on straight away, and it will be Doherty and McClemens side by side into the first corner. It's something that they'll be very familiar with as we go racing once again here in Oulton Park. 15 minutes, folks, 5 extra compared to heat number 1 in this one, so we'll have plenty more side by side and racing action. Great start, Sean McClemens already making some moves. Good start, Tortullo hangs it around the outside of Conor Melia, uses the grass, but you can use a little bit of grass there if the physics allow for that, and Tortullo is able to make the move around the outside, side by side a little bit further back. Couple of spots being gained elsewhere. Peter McCann has had a poor start. He's dropped a couple of spots. Conor Melia still diving it down the inside of Tortullo, and Thor is very wide. This could allow both Robbie Callaghan and Logan Hoy to have a go in towards the Knickerbocker corner, but Tortullo is going to survive, and Tullo will be able to keep it round the outside here. You can just see them 2 by 2 as they go. Thor the front left. Here comes Jordan Kelly and Ronan Doherty once again, though. So not much has changed. Heat number 1, Kelly and Doherty still battling in towards this corner, but they're a lot more bunched up behind, and there's a lot of potential for this to go wrong very quickly. That is Melia, Callaghan, Irvine, Hoy, McClemens, McNamara, Timpara, McCann, Gandor. Does it ever end? Look at this, down towards the final corner. Where are they supposed to go? There's not enough space to breathe in this battle for 5th. Unbelievable. And somehow they all come out unscathed. Nothing short of miraculous. Really superb stuff in towards the Lodge corner. Very impressive indeed from these guys. In all honesty, usually we'd see something catastrophic if they all go side by side like that, and I thought it just commentators cursed it. Not too late to still commentators curse it, so we'll hold our breath for now. They're all still weaving and battling, and look at this! Look at this! There we go! There, it's all gone wrong! We called it a bit early, but it was inevitable. Robbie Callaghan's involved. Tortullo has to drive across the circuit, and he almost takes the Hislop chicane. There was more involved. Kyle Irvine, Adam McNamara. I think Grace McCallion not caught up on him, but is out of the race. Oh, Sean McClemens caught up as well. Paolo Tempera. Might have to have a look at a replay if there's the action dies down for a little bit. But I'm not going to apologise for commentator cursing that one, because let's be real, we all knew that was going to happen eventually. And Ronan Hederman saying in my ear that they deserved it. So that is very disappointing for those guys. They'll have to try recover in the remainder of this race, the remaining 12-13 minutes of it, and in heat number 3. Let's have a look at our first Gantry TV instant replay of the evening then. This is the big one, as they would say in NASCAR. There's Robbie Callaghan, who got it all wrong initially. There's Rory O'Shea involved. Kyle Irvine definitely involved. Sean McClemens did as good a job as he could, I suppose, to recover that one. Oh, and then they went again. Oh, he did do a good job to recover it, and then he got spun into again. So, yeah, disappointing for Sean McClemens there, who thought he might have been relatively unscathed, and then he got, as they would say in boxing, he got hit with the right hand and then got knocked out with the uppercut. So, disappointing that for Sean McClemens. Actually said to me today that he feels he's in the championship fight. Now, unfortunately, he has not had an ounce of luck tonight. We'll be looking for better in Heat 3, which is usually where he is quite good. I think all his RTA wins have come in Heat 3. So keep an eye out for Sean McClemens in that one. The battle for the front, which we've not spoken about much, is between Jordan Kelly, Ronan Doherty, and Dylan McClemens. And this is a cemented top 3 now. No Tortullo or Conor Melia involved in this one. Conor dropped a little bit back in the race start. And then Tortullo, of course, was involved in that big incident. So it is Kelly, Doherty, McClemens, Melia, and Andrew Murphy in a very solid 5th place with no cars around him. So just has to drive his own, or no, sorry, there is a car around him. There's Peter McCann who is around him, and that lapped car might get into a bit of way, but no, Peter clears it nicely. And that is Peter McCann who is up and ahead. Sorry, it's 2.4 seconds to the car in front. So Andrew just has to focus behind him and not in front. There's Mark Ivory, moved down the inside. Great move that from Mark Ivory. Mark, decent race last week in Brands Hatch, but will be looking to try and score a top 10. He's got Rory O'Shea looking to make a move as well. And Rory, of course, is still in a revenge path for a poor last season. By his standards anyways, wasn't able to take a race win in the Mustang America's Cup after taking 2 in the Super Formula Lights Championship, and he only finished 13th in the order. But Rory O'Shea, at least on Gantry TV, is traditionally known for being a single-seater racer rather than a tin-top specialist. And Paolo Tempera is looking to make the move on Philip Upson, and he has made the move on Philip Upson. Philip Upson running a steady 14th. For a man with no practice, not a half bad job. And Philip Upson is looking to try and re-overtake that spot on Paolo Tempera. Here is the Andrew Murphy fight, and it's all elbows out for Andrew Murphy. He's making that Formula V about 4 Formula Vs wide and looking to defend off from Peter McCann and Logan Hoy. I think McCann and Hoy have been involved in a battle every week since Logan has joined, so it might be nice for Peter to see off the back of him. Runs over the raised curb there on the left-hand side, but doesn't unsettle the car too much, so still gets a decent run in towards Knickerbocker. Pulled into the slipstream of Andrew Murphy now, and will be looking to try and gain a beautiful livery on board Peter McCann's Formula V here. And he's going to try and make it look quick. Who has it said that any car looks quick, or any car looks good once it wins? It was probably Enzo Ferrari. But Peter McCann gets the job done and is ahead of Andrew Murphy. Logan Hoy got the job done on Rich Murphy for the time being, so Logan might try to have a go at the second Murphy in the order. Andrew did try dive down the inside of Peter, but to no avail, and that has allowed Logan Hoy to try and fish it around the outside. I have to say, Logan gelling nicely here around Oulton Park. This is, at least up until this point, been his best week so far, but now that I've said that, it's probably all going to go to the dogs, and he'll end up facing backwards in 27th place or something. Fastest lap of the race in that one actually went to Rory O'Shea, so the top three have settled down a little bit, and Rory O'Shea has pumped in a quick lap, but there is a lot of slipstream that he can use and will use, so gets the fastest lap indeed. No extra points for the fastest lap here in RTA, but certainly is a confidence booster. That's Paolo Tempera, big lunge down the inside from Tempera. That is Enda Farrell as Andrew Murphy's off. That's Andrew Murphy off in the background. Just as we go off board with him, Andrew has had a problem. Lost big places. I'm not sure if it was contact or a spin under his own accord, but he is down to 19th spot now, or to 20th spot, I should say. So, trouble for Andrew Murphy. Let's have a look at the Gantry TV replay then and see what happened. And you can see in towards the... Ooh. Logan Hoy. I'm not sure if he didn't nick the rear of Andrew Murphy or if it was the little bit of net code. Ironically, I did say Logan's race would go downhill as soon as I said he was having a steady week, but Logan has come into contact with Andrew Murphy there. That's going to be one for the stewards to decide with multiple camera angles later on, but disappointing for Andrew, who is now down the order, as is Rich Murphy, so both the Murphys have fallen back. Here's Ronan Doherty, Jordan Kelly, Dylan McClements, your three big stars in RTA this season. Your three big stars around Oulton Park, and you can see Dylan McClements just gaining in the slipstream. He's got two very experienced racers in front, but I'm sure a time in the future he would like to join them a lot or race alongside them in real world Formula Vs, but for now he's just looking to outrace them, outdrive them, outpace them here on the simulator, as that is a move for Paolo Tempera once again. That's Sean McGoldrick, who's up to 9 just in front of them, so good recovery from Sean McGoldrick, the Oxford resident, who is putting his smarts to use and cutting through the field. Rory O'Shea is just ahead of Tony Stack as well. Tony in the Super Mario livery, looking to power on past Rory O'Shea. But it's going to be difficult to do that because Rory seems to be driving well. Not quite at the pace of the top three, but a steady enough pace to score high points tonight. The points go on much further than top 10, of course, but if you really want to score big points, you've got to be finishing in the high places. You've got to be scoring top fives if you want to be in any sort of championship contention, especially when the front three are as consistent as they are. It reminds me very much of Daytona back in the Motorsport.ie Mustang America's Cup last season, where it was sort of a middle of the season race. There was a defined top three, and those top three went on to battle for the championship. So I wonder, is that kind of what we're leaning to here? Is it going to be a Doherty Kelly McClements championship fight? But still too early to call. Still too early to call. Logan Hoy looking to attack Tony Stack. No move on really there. Jordan Kelly looking to attack Ronan Doherty. No move on really there. And Kelly in the 99, Doherty in the 29. And then Dylan McClements, it could have been a perfect trio, but he's running number 4. He is just looking to stick on the back of those guys. Actually, lapping a tenth of a second quicker than them both, but they're so close that lap times don't really matter at this point. It's all about your racecraft. And Ronan, when he speaks to us here on Gantry TV, certainly feels that he's got some of the finest racecraft in the field. It's time to put it to the test. Jared Thornton moved down the inside of David Prunty. Gets the move done, does Jared, and he doesn't get the move done, actually. David Prunty has decided he wants to have another go. Jared Thornton running the 7-Up livery. David Prunty in the black. And oh my God, what's that on the screen? That's a car gone way airborne. There was someone flipping close camera shot and the Farrell. It was, I think there was someone else involved in it as well. But we were looking at a battle in the background, and all of a sudden a car comes flying up on the screen. Let's have a replay of this one and see what happens here. It is Enda Farrell. Did he? Oh my God, that's a huge error from the car behind. And then Sean spun it out of nowhere and clipped Robbie Callahan. That disappointingly is Sean McClemens' fault, but the first incident certainly isn't. That was Mark Ivory, who we're seeing, and Ronan telling me in my ear it was Mark Ivory who just looked like he completely missed his brakes, to be honest. Yeah, it just looked like it was a total lapse in concentration, and just completely ran into the back of Murphy, or Enda Farrell, I should say. Weird one, that. Very weird one. Once again, I imagine the stewards will have a look at it, but this is the battle we were looking at before that incident happened. It is between between David Prunty, Tullow, and Jared Thornton. So Prunty down in 12th, Tullow in 13th, and then Thornton in 14th. This is Peter McCann running a steady 5th, has a little bit of breathing room to Rory O'Shea behind, or a lot of breathing room actually to Rory O'Shea behind. So decent this for Peter McCann. We're looking to pick up a steady result. One podium this season has McCann. That was in the first round. Tony Stack dives down the inside. Another man with a podium this season, and that was in Silverstone in race 2. He was able to pick up a 3rd place, and now they all pull out of line. They all want a little bit of the action. Logan Hoy wants to try and make an overtake. He's into the slipstream, and he's actually going for a double whammy down towards the first corner. Brave stuff from the young man to go down the inside of Tony Stack and Sean McGoldrick. Doesn't work out for him. Very close to the apex of the corner. Loses control a little bit. Has been overtaken by Paulo Tempera, the Portuguese ace who has come into this championship with a lot of expertise. And he really is driving smartly and bravely. And that is cutthroat from Paulo Tempera down the inside of Sean McGoldrick. Just dispatches him like he's not even there. Tempera is looking to attack Tony Stack now for 7th place. And I tell you what, with the form he's got in this lap, might be able to do so. But McGoldrick wants to fight back. He wants to keep in this fight. He wants to stay ahead of Paulo Tempera and show Paulo, who's been here a longer time, who has used his expertise to pick up some great results here in RTA Virtual Motorsport. Sean McGoldrick has got the move done for the time being. Tempera pulls out a line. Logan Hoy, unfortunately, not close enough to go for the move. As Jordan Kelly is into the race lead once again. We have not long left here in this heat. We are at 13 minutes 25, so that's about 2 laps, I think, but we'll see as we get close to the checker. Ronan Doherty is now going to try the up and under in towards the Knickerbocker corner, and he is. They're side by side once again. This is the shenanigans that they pulled off at the end of the last heat. Let's go side by side for 2 laps, says Doherty and Kelly, and they're absolutely going to do that one once again. In towards the Druids corner. Jordan Kelly trying it round the outside of Ronan Doherty. Look how close it gets between the two, but they just know how each other drive at this point. They are telepathic in towards Druids. I don't really know how they pull it off in these cars time and time again, but it's the exact same situation that we had in heat number 1. Dylan McClemens, an onlooker for the time being. A very keen onlooker, a very opportunistic onlooker. But there's not much he can do when the two in front of him are side by side. Conor Melia under pressure from that's not Peter McCann behind. That's actually Kyle Irvine, who I think is being lapped as Jordan Kelly and Ronan Darty are side by side once again. This is the last lap here at Oulton Park Fosters. It's make or break for Darty. He came out on top in the fight in heat number 1. Kelly wants to try and come out on top here in heat number 2, and there's a little bit of contact at the apex, but nothing significant. Bit of blinking from McClements in the background, but that is he is still okay. It's going to be between these top two. The fight for the race win, though. Look at this, almost bump drafting. Can you bump draft in a Formula V? Well, Doherty and Kelly are going to try test the theory in towards Druids. There's a lot more on the line for Doherty this time. He's not as comfortable now. Just briefly ahead of the apex. Kelly has the better line in towards the right-hander, and they're still side by side on exit. It's all going to be decided at the Lodge corner and through the final little swing left. Kelly on the inside, but who's bravest on the brakes? Who has more trust in their skill and their ability? McClements is still in this one as well. Kelly and Doherty side by side, but Dylan McClements is going to look to steal something. Ronan Doherty, Jordan Kelly. Oh, it's dead evens. It's dead evens at the line. I don't believe it. We thought last week was good. We've just got one better. It's absolute dead evens between Doherty and Kelly, and then it's 0.08 to McClements. These three guys are on a different stratosphere here, and I'm going to say it's Doherty that won, but that could change by the time we get the confirmed race results, because it did last week. But my God, they don't ever give poor me a break on these last laps, do they? What an unbelievable finish, and we still have one more heat to go. Doherty and Kelly are just unbelievable to watch, aren't they? Like, genuinely, there's never a dull moment when these guys are battling. And credit to Dylan as well. He just stuck it out for that last lap. And I think we're going to a replay here. Let's have a look. We are going to get the results up, but while we do so, we have sponsor obligations to do. So please make sure, of course, you do check out Motorsport.ie if you want to hear more about Ronan Doherty and Jordan Kelly. They're kind of both featured on there a little bit these days. Well, Ronan Doherty especially. So make sure you do check that out as well. The results we will be getting in a moment. On my screen, it says Jordan Kelly, but that has also changed for the warm-up. And there we go. It does say Jordan Kelly. So that's twice in 2 weeks that he's not technically won it as he crossed the line, but he actually has won it. We will be asking about that in a second. We'll run you through these quickly. It is Kelly, Doherty, Dylan McClements, Melia McCann O'Shea, McGoldrick, Tempara Stack. Then it is Logan Hoyt, Thor Tullo, Dave Collier, Jared Thornton. Then it is Andrew Murphy, David Prunty. Then it is Rich Murphy, Philip Upson, and Enda Farrell. That rounds out your top 18. And then we had, of course, a couple of big moments and crashes. It was Adam McNamara, Sean McClements, Robbie Callahan, Mark Ivory, Jamal Gandor, Kyle Irvine, and then Grace McCallion, who didn't get started. Let's hear from your supposed race winner, Jordan Kelly. Jordan, congratulations. Have you ever thought about winning a race before the checkered flag?
Oh, that was too good, that one. No, I crossed the line. I thought Ronan had it. Even looking back at it now, it looked like Ronan had it, but whatever way the timing light set up, clearly that's a wee bit off. But no, it was a good last lap, to be fair.
You and Ronan have been side by side for probably about 3 or 4 laps over the last 2 heats. Just how great is it to have some unbelievable battles tonight?
Yeah, it's always good knowing that the person beside he'll have a nice clean race for you. So no, it's definitely an improvement from last week where I was lifting Ronan's gearbox up and spinning them. So hopefully no more of that now in the next race.
And then, of course, it's been really yourself, Ronan, and Dylan who've been fighting at the front on your own. Obviously, we had Connor and Thor, which is in heat number 1, but didn't make much of an impact. Completely different ball game now. You've got a lot more cars involved. Are you thinking it's going to be a bit more difficult?
Yeah, I think there could be a few accidents and stuff with other people involved. I think that's what happened in that race that we got away. So I didn't even notice at the start, but then Ronan told me, and we kind of stayed in line until the last couple laps. But no, hopefully it won't be too much, I reckon.
Jordan, congratulations, and all going well. We'll see you in the interviews later.
Thanks, Evan.
And the second place man, or supposed second place man, is going to be Ronan Doherty. Ronan, Jordan says he thinks you had it at the line. What's your thoughts on it?
It says Jordan won. But I know he must have slipped a fired or someone. Nah, nah. Like if you look at the photo finish, it just looks like the two cars are in an identical place. Like certain angles, it looks like he's further ahead. Certain angles, it looks like I'm further ahead. So yeah, it is what it is.
Overall, then tonight so far, how are you finding it out there?
Yeah, I mean, just more of this car and I racing. The tow's crazy, and you got to be strategic. You know, I know it's maybe a bit boring sometimes watching guys not fight, but it's the most effective tactic to score points, so that's just what's going to happen. This next race will probably be a bit of carnage, so we'll see what happens.
Yeah, is it going to be about staying out of trouble?
Yeah, like as long as as long as there's no repeats of last week, I should be okay.
Ronan, best of luck for Heat 3.
Cheers, lads. Keep it country.
Oh, well, we haven't heard that in a while. I think we might have time for a quick word with Dylan McClements, as yes, we will. Dylan, it has been P2 and P3 for you tonight. As championship leader, is it important for you to get steady points?
Yeah, especially when those two are battling, and I don't really want to get involved, but I do at the same time. Like I want to get that win, but then again, if I crash or spin, that could really affect my championship. So at this moment in time, I've got a good gap, so I'm just gonna go for consistent finishes.
Then coming up to Heat 3, is your goal to beat Jordan and Ronan, or are you just going to take it corner by corner?
I'm just gonna take it corner by corner. I'm gonna try to get as high as I can. It'll be a bit hectic this last race. There'll be definitely more of us, or at the front, or more of us. If they're other down the grid do the instance, but we'll see how it goes.
Dylan, we'll let you go get ready for race 3. Thank you very much for joining us.
All right, thank you.
So good to hear from the lads there and their thoughts on Heat 1 and Heat 2. If we go by the same trend, they'll be the same 3 that we talked to after Heat number 3. I'm going to let Ronan get a quick word in so I can take some water. And the one question I have for Ronan is, this has all been a bit hectic, hasn't it?
Crazy. Like to have 2 weeks in a row to be that close and literally letting iRacing decide afterwards who's actually won the race is absolutely crazy. But you can see the tactic that the guys are at. That second race, they calmed right down and just waited and bided their time. And by the last 3 laps, they battled hard. And I'd say we're probably in for that again.
Yes, and we have a bit of a different pole sitter. We don't have Kelly or Doherty. We have Paolo Tempera, who'll start on pole for the first time in his RTA career. Sean McGoldrick in second, Rory O'Shea in third, Peter McCann in fourth, Conor Melia in fifth, Dylan McClements in sixth, Ronan Doherty in seventh, Jordan Kelly in eighth. And it's Tony Stack and Logan Hoy, Thor Tullo and Dave Collier. Then we don't have time to read the rest because the lights are coming on. We will run you through when they move and shake a little bit at the start. As for the final time tonight, we go racing here in Oulton Park. Doherty immediately, instantly gaining spaces. He's up and ahead of Dylan McClements. Great start, Sean McGoldrick as well. Leads Paolo Tempera in towards the first corner. Rory O'Shea then down in third. Peter McCann is in fourth. Conor Melia in fifth. Ronan Doherty in sixth. Jordan Kelly is in seventh. Paolo Tempera fighting back though. He's not going to give this one up. Probably senses a chance for a huge result in his short RTA career. And he has got the job done. Peter McCann is in third. Rory O'Shea in fourth. Ronan Doherty in fifth. Dylan McClements gets ahead of Jordan Kelly briefly. Oh, they're free wide, heading for the right-hander. Kelly is on the outside of the corner. Conor Melia now battling there hard as well with Jordan Kelly. They, of course, fought at Brands Hatch briefly. And then Kelly, or Melia, I should say, drove on to win. But Jordan Kelly is ahead for now, as there goes Tempera, and there goes McGoldrick. McGoldrick goes flipping across the field like an Olympic diver. Oh no, it is a big one, and it's as big as they come. The timing tower is like nightclub lights bouncing around the place, and that is a huge incident that we might have to have another look at. Jared Thornton's been involved in it. McGoldrick, Dylan McClements, Ronan Doherty. What the two of them didn't want. They wanted to take it corner by corner. They've both been caught up in it. We didn't really get too great a look at this one with the Warwick Bridge being in the way. Let's have a look at it now. So it started with McGoldrick Tempera. Oh my goodness me. Oh no. And an oh no of the highest order. Whoever is deemed to cause that, I wouldn't like to speak to the stewards after the race. Specifically, Peter McCann, who might have a bit of choice language for that one. Actually, not, because he wasn't caught up in it. So usually Peter's fine when he's not caught up in it. So there we go. There's the first one. Bang. Over he goes. And you've seen Kyle Irvine as well involved. And I'm not even entirely sure how some of them have ended up in the places they've ended up in. There was a car that T-boned someone about 4 or 5 yards to the left of the grass. It's one of the biggest incidents we've ever had in RTA, and we have 8 cars in the pits. Me and Ronan will definitely be rewatching that one after the stream. But for now, it is Jordan Kelly who leads Tor. Look at this. Look at the 3 cars leaving now. It's Jordan Kelly who leaves Tortullo, who leaves Rory O'Shea, who leads Sean McClements, the Heat 3 merchant. 16 places in 2.5 minutes. Easy as you like. Honestly, like, it gets to a certain point where you're coming on to do one of these broadcasts, which I hope you're enjoying at home, folks, and you're like, what different thing can happen tonight? We've had a bit of everything. What is going to be something new that we're going to see? And it never fails to shock me. There's always something random that happens. Whether it be an 8-car crash, whether it be 3 drivers going side by side for 2.5 laps, there's always something new, and I suppose that goes to show why RTA is as great as it is. And this isn't an RTA sponsored segment. Well, technically it is. Yeah, no, it definitely is. But sorry, what I'm trying to say is I'm not on commission for promoting the championship, but it is it's unbelievable. Jordan Kelly leads Rory O'Shea, who leads Thor Tullo, who leads Sean McClements, and then it's Rich Murphy in 5th. Then it's Conor Melia, Philip Upson, Peter McCann, David Prunty, Enda Farrell, Mark Ivory, Logan Hoy, Adam McNamara. Then there's Andrew Murphy, Dave Collier in 15th, then Sean McGoldrick, Ronan Darty, Tony Stack, Dylan McClements, Kyle Irvine, Jamal Gandor, Jared Thornton, Paolo Tempera, and then it is Callahan and McCallion. What a chance this is for Jordan Kelly to put himself in championship contention, because he survived that melee. The rest of the championship contenders, bar potentially Sean McClements, didn't. So he has a big opportunity here. Dylan is down in 19th. Ronan is 17th. Neither of those are points-paying places for the time being. I imagine they'll work their way back up to the points, because they are still out on track and still circling round. But yeah, big opportunity this for Kelly. Big disappointment for Paolo Tempera as well. After such a promising week last week, it was looking like he was going to get a real opportunity from pole position, and then unfortunately he turned into a slingshot from Looney Tunes, sending Sean McGoldrick absolutely flying on the exit of Druid's Corner. But Rich Murphy, that's a different livery for Rich. I don't think I've ever seen an elephant on the side of a Formula V car, but it's nice to see from Rich Murphy. This is Sean McClements as well, who you are seeing attacking Conor Melia, and Conor Melia is looking to just keep Sean McClements behind. I tell you, Sean will be very thankful that he's got a little bit of a rub of the green here, because had awful bad luck in heat number 1 and in heat number 2. Didn't really get given a chance, and he's going to try and go for the move on Conor Melia. Not able to go for it into there, but still has plenty of time. We still have 15 minutes to go in this one, and he will be looking for the move. Oh, Peter McCann's got ahead of David Prunty, so good move there for Peter McCann, as there's a couple dropping off the leaderboard, but I imagine that's just connection, and they will be back in a second. Here's on board with Logan Hoy, looking for the move on Adam McNamara. These are 2 of the newcomers here this season in the Motorsport.ie Formula V Championship. One is a real-life Formula V racer. One races in the ICC Junior Mini Challenge, also, I believe, sponsored by Motorsport.ie. So great to see Logan out on circuit now in towards the first sector. And a bit of weaving from Adam McNamara, looking to take a defensive pivot in towards the right hand. Sorry, that's actually the final corner they're coming through, not the first. Is it the final corner they're coming through? I'm sorry. Yeah, it is the final corner they're coming through. Sorry, I got lost for a second. We have cars everywhere out on track. Usually they're all bunched together after 6 minutes, so I've kind of become accustomed to that. But Jordan Kelly still your race leader. Rory O'Shea there in second, and Thor Tullow in third. Thor hasn't got a top 10 finish in 2 heats this season, and they have been heat 2 in Brands Hatch and here in Oulton Park. So heat 2 not his favourite, but heat 3 definitely. Got 5th last week in Brands Hatch, and he did get 6th in Silverstone, and then in Snetterton he got 6th as well. So kind of tracks around those positions. It would be a best heat 3 result of his RTA career, or certainly his Gantry TV era career, if he was able to get 3rd. Jordan Kelly runs a little bit wide through the first corner. And in all honesty for Kelly, when he saw McClements and Darty wiped out of it, he was probably hoping that he wouldn't be under much pressure this heat, but he is a little bit. I've checked the stream chat and I've seen Ronan Hederman asking, "Is this the biggest incident in RTA history?" He has a lot more history here in this league than I do, so I'm going to ask him out straight. Is it the biggest incident in RTA history?
It possibly could be. I can't remember a crash affecting as many people. Maybe one. I'm trying to remember which. So that's why I was asking. I was hoping there'd be somebody that has watched before and I would have seen it. But 8 cars into the pits, like 2 championship contenders, basically seriously going to have to struggle back up in this race and get any kind of points in at all. And it looks like Jordan Kelly could walk away with all the points here, but not if Rory O'Shea has something to say about it.
Yeah, O'Shea's given it a go, and he is up and ahead briefly. Anyways, was much quicker on that last lap, but Kelly will remain in front. So Jordan, using his experience, he definitely has experience winning in RTA from all sort of situations. In the last 3 seasons of RTA, Jordan Kelly has won 27 races. So, we only have 7 rounds, 7 times 3, 21. He's winning a lot in RTA is the point I'm making. Knows how to do it. Sorry, that's not even including this season. So he already won twice in Brands Hatch. He won once in Silverstone. That's another 3. That brings him to 30. If he won tonight, it'd be his 31st race win in 4 seasons. 3 seasons, 3 races. Or 3 seasons, 3 seasons, 4 races. This is a lot of maths for 8 minutes past 10 on a Tuesday night. But Jordan Kelly, knows how to get the job done. Anyways, that does sound like a politician's slogan, but Jordan knows what to do. Exiting the final corner now, he does have Rory O'Shea in his slipstream. Thor Tullow in 3rd. Conor Melia is 10 seconds back in 4th then. So it's a 3-car fight for the race win. And Thor and Rory, exact same laps. Jordan Kelly just 2/10 quicker, but of course Rory and Thor have the advantage of the slipstream. Peter McCann gets up to 6th. He's ahead of David Prunty once again, but I imagine Prunty is going to try and fight back on there. There's a lot of lap cars in that fight for the race win, but there is only 3 cars on that lead lap. Here is Peter McCann, just ahead of David Prunty. He'll be looking for the move down towards the right, he'll be looking to defend from the move from Prunty down towards the end of the first sector, and you can see a lot of markings out on the circuit in this part of the sector. It's almost looking like a Drift Masters event. That's very much Drift Masters from Peter McCann. Unfortunately, it's a complete 180, and he's lost it completely on his own there. That's a really weird mistake from Peter McCann. Wasn't under a lot of pressure from David Prunty, and just rotated round very rookie-like from Peter. And disappointingly, he has dropped off David Prunty. He's only lost 1 position in theory, but he is now 8.5 seconds behind. And with only 10 minutes to go, he wasn't exactly leaps and bounds ahead of David Prunty pace-wise. Might struggle to regain that 6th place. But Conor Melia is under pressure from Sean McClements behind, and it's not looking like Sean will be able to take the race win, but certainly he'll be looking to take a lot better points than he took in heat number 1 and in heat number 2. Here's Thor Tullow. Thor is up to 2nd. What a great evening this would be for Thor. If he could take his first race win of his career, that would truly be something else for Thor, who has come into this championship, and he's really given it a good go. Let's have a look at the replay. This is the move, I think, for the race win. Yeah, or not for the race win. I'm calling it a bit early for the first position. As O'Shea hit the curb, hit that inside curb. That completely sent him wide, and that gave Thor Tullo the move. So wasn't exactly Thor's really good racecraft, but more Rory O'Shea's mistake. And although Rory is still in third, there is now multiple cars in between. One of which is Dylan McClements, who is in third, or third on the road. He is a lap down and in 16th, but that is definitely Dylan McClements' livery. Tony Stack is there as well. So even when he's not battling Jordan for the race win, he's still acting as a hindrance for him. And Dylan is allowed to unlap himself. If you feel you're quicker, you're definitely allowed to unlap yourself. Obviously, if Jordan was then quicker than Dylan, he would have to get out of the way. But no, Dylan has all right pace. He's allowed to try and unlap himself. Absolutely nothing wrong with that. If I am Thornhill or Rory O'Shea, though, I'm probably screaming about it at this point. But you're allowed. He's more than entitled to do that. Once he doesn't do an Esteban Ocon on the situation, then he is fine. This is Adam McNamara, who is fighting with Logan Hoy right behind. We've seen these two battle already this heat, so they're going at it once again. It's for the final place, or sorry, this is for 9th and 10th place, so not quite the final place in the top 10, but on the fringes of that top 10. It's Thor Tullo. He launching his first attack here on Jordan Kelly. And although there's only 2 points between first and second, if Jordan didn't win here, he'd probably feel personally that's a big loss. Thor Tullo, though, definitely senses his chances. Definitely senses that this could be a magical evening for me. He wants something from this heat. So still a similar situation to what we saw in Heat 1 and Heat 2. It's just not quite Doherty and McClements who are behind Jordan. It is Thor Tullo, and it is, well, it is still Dylan McClements, but on the timing screen, it's Rory O'Shea. Sean McGoldrick gets past Ronan Doherty for 14. There's another problem for Doherty. He's just lost a couple of spaces and has lost time, and he's very slow on the rejoin and has just actually gone a lap down, has Ronan Doherty. So he's had some error there. Dylan McClements and Tony Stack both overtook him. So let's have a look what's happened to Ronan Doherty. Has he made a similar mistake to Peter McCann? Let's have a, yeah, very similar mistake. Almost identical mistake, some could say. And he just completely lost it. And that is very frustrating for Ronan. We give Ronan his flowers often, but one thing is when he gets involved in a big incident at the start of a race and he feels like all his chances are gone, he does kind of push a little bit too much sometimes and maybe loses out on further points because of that. He gets very flustered, does Ronan Doherty, and that was evident in that spin. Thor Tullo, though, makes or tries to make the move on Jordan Kelly, has made the move on Jordan Kelly. This has put Rory O'Shea back into this one. To be fair to Dylan and Tony Stack, they have let these three race at it. They have let Rory get it past, and Rory is now back in contention with the top three. So if you're just joining us, folks, in picture, we have 5 cars. Only the top 3 are going for the race win here. The other 2 are a lap down. Adam McNamara is overtaking Logan Hoy for 9th, and they're side by side heading down towards the first corner. Hoy still making the move as Thor Tullo has gone for the move on Jordan Kelly, and now we're back into the traditional Motorsport.ie Formula V Championship where we don't really know where to look. That's a brilliant move from Adam McNamara. Clinical, gets it done before the exit of the corner and is ahead of Logan Hoy. Here is Jordan Kelly going for the move in towards the first corner now. Thor Tullo trying to flick it round the outside. Thor Tullo not going to get the job done, and Rory O'Shea might be able to attack here. O'Shea and Tullo side by side. These two have fought before, especially around Snetterton in the opening round of the season. They were in a lot of battles together. These three, though, not really having an on-track tussle so far this championship. And it is Kelly who is ahead for the time being. Although I'm just getting one of those feelings that there is still another twist in this tale, whether it be a brilliant chapter for Thor Tullo or whether it be a stunning plot twist for, I don't know, maybe Sean McClements again, who knows. But there could be something else in this one. Speaking of Sean McClements, we're looking at him now, and he is attacking Connor Melia. looking for the move, and still very foggy here at Oulton Park, but there's a little bit more visibility for these drivers. I'm not sure if that's going to be affecting them as much as it is going to be affecting our camera operators, but it's certainly off-putting to some extent, and the drivers have done well to tackle that. 4 minutes to go, or 3 minutes and 40 seconds if you're being exact, left here in the round 4 of the Motorsport.ie Formula V Championship. If you're wondering what Motorsport.ie is and why we keep mentioning it, it is Ireland's #1 motorsport news network. Make sure to go check out Motorsport.ie on whatever social pages or whatever social apps you use, and of course just Motorsport.ie. It's a website as well, a good old classic journalistic website. Jordan Kelly still in the race lead, ahead of Tortullo in second, and Rory O'Shea is still in third position here. I wonder, have they got to this point of the race where they are biding their time, similar to what we saw Doherty and Kelly do in previous heats, but I'm not sure that Tullo and O'Shea would have that sort of patience when they know there's such an opportunity at their hands. I suppose it's like in those old cartoons where you saw the pie and the steam coming out of it, you start floating towards it. You got to start floating towards the race win if you want to try and take it. Could be one of the worst references ever made on one of these streams, but the point definitely got across to someone. This is Logan Hoy and Adam McNamara still fighting. And these two very even on pace. Definitely two stars of tomorrow, maybe, in RTA Virtual Motorsport when they do get a better grasp on things. But despite having a couple of moments, a couple of wobbles, I would definitely say this has been Logan Hoy's best evening so far. And Adam McNamara has been pretty good in both his evenings so far. So I can't really fault him too much. 2 minutes to go. We'll have 2 more laps at this one, and now they're starting to fight. Rory O'Shea getting past Tortullo. The crucial thing here is Thor and Rory can't trip over each other too much. You give Jordan Kelly an ounce of breathing room, he will take it. And you can see already a couple of car lengths between himself and Thor. You cannot let Jordan Kelly run away with this one. You've got to both put him under a huge amount of pressure. Create an allegiance for all of 2 minutes. Work together and try and dethrone one of the greatest here in RTA. But Kelly knows what he has to do in this scenario. Stack and McClemens are taking a fantastic viewing point. A viewing point money can't buy for a battle such as good as this one around Oulton Park. Here is Tullo going for the outside, maybe learning from the great scriptures of Ronan Doherty through that corner. He tried that move on Kelly about 8 or 9 times in the last heat. Tullo not able to pull it off now, though. Kelly takes a defensive line. O'Shea dives down the inside. Remember, O'Shea still probably feels that he's in championship contention and wants every points that he can. Tullo definitely in championship contention, actually ahead of Jordan Kelly in the championship in the first place. But here we go, final lap of the race at Oulton Park, final lap of the evening. Who is going to take this one? Rory O'Shea dives down the inside of Tortullo. There is no breathing room for Jordan Kelly to work with, and that might be all he needs if he wants to take the win tonight. O'Shea and Tullo have to work with this one. Sean McClemens launches an attack on Conor Melia on the last lap, and Conor Melia is able to defend off Sean McClemens for the time being. The gap is 0.5 of a second up the front between Jordan Kelly and Rory O'Shea, and that might be enough for Jordan Kelly as they head up the hill here. It would have to be a miraculous attempt from Rory O'Shea this far back. If we would want to try and take it, it'd probably take a mistake from Jordan Kelly, because we know you can run side by side into this corner, but Rory O'Shea is not close enough. Has he got the run out of Druid's corner for the final time? I'll tell you what, he's given it a good go, as is Tortullo. Here we go in towards the final corner. Is someone going to be brave? Is someone going to try and pull off something unbelievable? Rory O'Shea goes for the outside. Look how ladies pray. He wants absolutely everything. He's gone for the up and under. Is it going to be enough? Is Kelly going to be beaten on his own game at the run to the line? No, he isn't. It's the master of the drag race. Jordan Kelly wins in Oulton Park once again. Rory O'Shea in second. Tortullo in third. Sean McClemens is going to come home in fourth. He wins a drag race in Heat 3 this week. Conor Melia in fifth. David Prunty then 13 seconds back in sixth. Wasn't quite the last lap dramatics that we had in heat number 2, but still a great race nonetheless. The big drama, the early parts of the race, where we had a massive incident, but absolutely incredible from start to finish. We'll get interviews with the top 3, and yeah, really stunning action. Here's a battle for the minor placings. This is Andrew Murphy and Enda Farrell, who have both once again this evening unfortunately been involved in their fair share of moments. and they will be looking to battle towards the line. And this battle as well, an important one that we were talking about, and it is going to be Logan Hoy who comes out on top ahead of Adam McNamara. I think Adam might have made a mistake on that last lap because that is quite a slow lap time, 1:13.6. The rest of them all the 1:11s. John McGoldrick comes home in 13th, evening to forget for him, I think. There wasn't really any bright points, not necessarily due to any fault of his own, but yeah, no bright points for Sean McGoldrick. No bright points overall here in Oulton Park because it is still unbelievably foggy. Jordan Kelly, though, does take the feature win. Rory O'Shea then in second, Thor Tullow in third. Sean McClemens in fourth, Conor Elliott in fifth, David Prunty in sixth, then it was Peter McCann in seventh, Mark Ivory in eighth, Logan Hoy is in ninth, Adam McNamara in 10th, Andrew Murphy, then was Enda Farrell, Dave Collier, Sean McGoldrick, Dylan McClemens, Ronan Doherty, Tony Stack, then it was Philip Upson, Rich Murphy, Jared Thornton, Kyle Irvine, Paolo Tempera, Robbie Callahan, Jamal Gandor, and Grace McCallion not getting started there in that one. So hopefully we can get some interviews. The stewards have not necessarily a busy night. I saw a lot of messages in the incident channel, but I think there's only about 4 or 5 incidents put in there. But yeah, I think there's one standout incident that we will be looking at. Maybe we can ask this man, the race winner, about it. Let's hear from Jordan Kelly once again. Jordan, congratulations. A big, big win for you. When Dylan and Ronan ended up down the field, you took the maximum points.
Yeah, it was a bit of luck more than anything, because like Dalton was right up behind me, and then he got caught up in that lap one incident, which nearly all the grid did. So I think me, Thor, and Rory got through it, and then everybody else just had a disaster through it. So it was just more luck than anything, being in the right place. But that was good. It was a good last couple laps, trying to make the two boys fight and get a wee gap to have a wee bit of thinking space.
When I suppose you see a big incident like that and you see yourself getting through it, surely your eyes must open up and you start to get excited because you know that there's a big opportunity for a win.
Yeah, it's always it's always good to get through them kind of things, but as easy as it can happen for other people, it can happen for you too. So I could be the one next week in it. So we'll see how it goes. But it was definitely it was definitely uh good to see for my side. I think it's probably Rory and Thor as well, and I'm sure they were glad to see it.
And I suppose in your last 2 championship winning seasons, you were kind of the outright pace setter every week. You had a lot of pace. It's a lot closer this season. In terms of the championship fight, is it just about keeping consistent from this point onwards?
Yeah, probably is. I think I'm missing next week though, so it'll probably put me out of it anyways, because heading to Brands Hatch for the Formula Ford Festival, so we'll be missing that, and we'll probably be missing the next one too. But we'll try and get back as quickly as we can. But definitely with the smaller cars, it definitely closes the field up and makes the racing a lot more exciting to the line. That's for sure.
Jordan, thank you very much for joining us once again, and congratulations on the big wins tonight.
Thanks, Evan.
So great to hear from Jordan there. We will hear from the second place man as well now, Rory O'Shea. Rory, I suppose we kind of have to ask everyone this question. What did you see in that big lap 1 crash?
I saw a lot of smoke. I just tried to go up onto the grass. I think I kind of ended up bouncing off Ronan a little bit, which was unfortunate. But it was a huge incident, and I was lucky that I was one of the ones to get through it.
Then coming into the last couple of laps, then yourself fighting with Thor Tullow and Jordan Kelly. Were you just gonna try everything possible, or did you really want that? Or sorry, were you just gonna try get what was possible, or did you really want that win?
I did really want it. Like, I was trying to make up for that mistake I made in the middle, and I nearly lost the draft, but I just got on the back of Dylan. Thankfully, the 2 guys let me through. And I always knew Jordan was going to be difficult to beat because he always is, and I got very close. And like, no, I'm happy enough. I know after the chaos of the first 2 races and the fact that I was lucky to get through that first lap crash, I'm actually happy enough with second.
And then, of course, next week we are heading to Donington. If you're going to be here, how'd you like that track?
Yeah, no, it's a track I like. It's a track I've done a lot of, so hopefully I can kind of keep up. I think I have a podium in all the rounds I've done so far this season, so hopefully I can get another 3. Hopefully,
Rory, thank you very much for joining us, and congratulations on the podium.
thanks.
Unfortunately, we're not going to hear from Thor Tullo, who doesn't seem to be joining us, so that is going to round out our interviews from this evening. There was one on board Ronan Hederman show there. I think it was actually Rory's on board. My God, that crash is unbelievable. It's definitely one to go and re. Oh, here we go. Let's rewatch it now. Let's actually try debunk what's happened here, because in all honesty, I don't know. So there's Paolo Tempera. He gets tagged by Sean McGoldrick. Then McGoldrick uses Paolo Tempera as some form of aircraft carrier ramp and just wham into the air. O'Shea, Doherty, and is that Peter McCann dive to the inside. Then what I'm going to assume is that they all bunch up. Yep, McCann and Doherty gets sent round. O'Shea somehow avoids Doherty. Then bam, McClemens into the side of Doherty. Stack into the side of Doherty. They go airborne. Someone else has just fancied a little trip across the grass there as well. They're into the wall. And then there was even more. So that is, yeah, it's all stemmed from the McGoldrick Tempera contact. Then Andrew Murphy is airborne. Someone else is airborne there. This is about 15 seconds after the initial contact is made place. Doherty is still involved in it. Jamal, is that Tony Stack back in the air again? I'm not too sure. Not Sean McClemens, but looked like Sean McClemens there. Kyle Irvine is upside down. He's probably going to have some form of post-traumatic stress disorder from his first round. Dave Collier was bouncing around there like a pinball. Yeah, there's Jamal just kind of setting himself straight off. How's there another car got up again? How's that happening? Dave has gone on a triple leg. He's completed his transatlantic flight hours for next week. In that first lap incident, it's probably one of the best moments ever on a Gantry TV stream for all the wrong reasons, because it was. I think it was Ronan Hederman who said, "Yeah, no, it was definitely Ronan Hederman. There's no other commentator here who said that it was going to be chaotic," and I think he was very much right. Ronan, any final things to say about that one? We will do driver today in a second, folks. Don't worry, I haven't forgotten.
I could watch that crash all day. Let's be honest now. If it had been the real thing, obviously not great, and obviously
Oh yeah, this
we
is the,
hold
sorry, this is
this
great race.
we hold this league at a very, very high standard. But I think genuinely, I think a lot of that was unavoidable. I think I don't know if Sean McGoldrick is going to get all of the givings out per se for that incident, but yeah, it's not a great turn of events, and a lot of people's race destroyed, especially two potential championship leaders. But yeah, look, c'est la vie.
If all the blame does go on Sean McGoldrick, he could be looking at a big penalty, like big penalty, because there was a lot of cars involved in that. But we will leave that one happily to the stewards, and it's time to turn our attention to driver of the day. And I am actually going to make the decision this week. Big thanks to all of you who gave some opinions in the stream chat. Greatly appreciated. I'll try read through a couple here. Sorry, I've just seen Kevin Joyce saying I disagree about the biggest incident. That's quite funny. Jamal saying Logan vote. Sean McClemens once again. Oh no, I thought Sean was just saying that Sean is driver today again, but he was actually just complaining about something.
Oh no,
But
he's complaining that last week he got an incident for holding his brakes and for not holding his brakes, I should say. And this week he did hold his brakes and he ended up getting hit. So he feels very hard done
okay.
by.
Fair enough, understandably so. But driver today, without any sort of question, unanimously is Jamal Gandor, without any questions on it for me, because what Jamal has done is purely unbelievable. The fact that he could even sit in the sim rig tonight is just incredible to see. And I had the oh my god. Okay, definitely Jamal Gandor, driver of the day. Running the captain slow, James May livery. Jamal. Yeah, this is the thing about Jamal. Like, definitely not had the easiest time of any drivers, but maybe on the track and off the track. Like look at his front right wheel in this clip. He's still just an unbelievable personality. It was cracking. You can join, by the way, if you are interested in joining RTA Virtual Motorsport. But yeah. Jamal thanking us. No, thank you, Jamal. We send you the best of our wishes to yourself and your family, and we thank you very much for joining us here tonight out on track. So, Jamal Gandor is your Gantry TV driver of the day tonight, without question from me. The only week that I've ever made a unanimous decision where I haven't had to ask Ronan Hederman to his disgust. But, folks, disappointingly enough, that is all we have here from Oulton Park. We will be back at the same time next week in Donington. A brilliant circuit is Donington for another brilliant evening of Formula V action. And we very much look forward to having you. Make sure to check out our title sponsors, Motorsport.ie. You can check the standings and points up in like literally about 5 minutes on RTA Virtual Motorsport. .com and is it .com or .ie? I question myself this every single week. It is RTAVirtualMotorsport.com, yes. So RTAVirtualMotorsport.com, you can round ahead with scrolling up the screen to try to see it. You can check it out there. And of course, make sure you subscribe and support Gantry TV because we greatly appreciate your support as it is. But you know, a few more subscribers doesn't help. It is absolutely free. But from myself, Evan Dalton, and from Ronan Hederman, stay safe, stay well, and we shall see you next week. Slán go fóill.